Okay. Today is March 31st, 2015. My name is Edna Sussman. I'm a reference librarian at the Half Hollow Hills Community Library in Dix Hills, New York. We are interviewing Nicholas Constandy, a World War II Marine Corps veteran, as part of our Veterans Testimonial Project and in collaboration with the Library of Congress's Veterans History Project. Thank you so much, Nick, for being here today and participating in our project.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Nick, where and when were you born?
I was born in Sparta, Greece.
When?
My father left my mother pregnant, living with his father and mother. My grandfather was doing pretty good. My father served in 2 wars in Greece, and he figured if he don't get out of there, they're going to kill him with the wars. So he left my mother there with 3 kids, who's me.
Wow.
He went up to Cortland, New York, way up there.
Cortland?
Cortland.
What year were you born in?
I was born 1920.
And what were your parents' names and what did they do?
My father was, my mother was taking care of her in-laws. Mm-hmm. You know, they gave her free housing, mm-hmm. and she had to do for the outside and inside, be a wash lady, take care of 3 kids and everything.
What was her name?
Bessie.
Bessie. And your dad? What was his name and what
Peter.
did he do? Peter?
Peter.
What did he do?
Oh, he came over here. He finally, when he brought me over, he had a liquor store.
In Cortland?
In Cortland. Mm-hmm. And he was doing good.
Now, who were your siblings and what were their names?
Who?
Your siblings. Did you have siblings?
Me?
Yes. Brother and sister or?
What do you mean? Yeah. Helen, my sister, 2 years older than I. And my brother was George, the one in the picture.
Yep.
He was 4 years old.
Okay. And were they ever in the military?
No, George was in the military. You got the picture there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. In what branch of the military?
He was in the Army.
Army. Now, what did you do before you entered the service?
I was trying to learn some English.
Now, how old were you when you came to America?
I was in the 7th grade in Greece, but the teachers over there were horrible. They're slapping the kids, not for being naughty, not knowing the Hummer. Because
not knowing what?
My mother had a freak of a father. They believe women do not go to school. Mm-hmm. No good.
So you were in 7th grade when you came over to Cortland?
When I came to Cortland, I had 4 words. Yes, no, and please, okay. Thank you.
Wow.
That's all.
You've come a long way.
Yeah, and went to school, and when I graduated, I couple weeks later, volunteered with another friend of mine, volunteered for the Marine Corps.
Oh, really? So after high school, you enlisted?
Yeah. Sure.
Now, why did you choose the Marine Corps?
Because I thought they'd do a better job. More of a fighting course.
Mm-hmm. So you were what, 18 or?
I beg your pardon?
How old were you when you joined the Marine Corps?
1942.
So 22.
I was 22 years old.
Now, what happened when you departed for training camp and during your early days of training? Where did you go?
We went to South Carolina,
mm-hmm.
and then we were there for about 8 months, doing maneuvers and training and knife fighting and all those. And then at the end of the year, they transferred us to North Carolina.
Oh, For what? More training?
Yeah, more training. It was more extensive. They had more. And there's a camp there, Camp Lejeune.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we stayed there. And I was there about a year.
Wow.
Then we transferred to San Diego base.
Was that all by train or?
Huh?
How did you travel it? Up on
Yeah,
trains?
by train.
Train?
Train.
Did
We
you?
went by train to San Diego. We were there from the fall of let's see, we transfer. We were
Was it 43 or 43 maybe?
43. 43. We stayed there, and then we moved to Hawaii.
Okay.
And we didn't have any women Marines then. They weren't. They were behind. They had women Marines, but we went to Hawaii, to Maui. It
Maui.
was a big camp
Okay.
because they were planning the big people in fighting in the Marine Corps thought that we have to go and conquer the islands out there and build airports, because the airports from Hawaii to bomb Japan, they couldn't make it back. They would go and land in China.
Oh, okay. I see.
Or they try and get back, and they couldn't make it. They ran out of fuel.
Did you get?
So the order was to occupy certain group of islands.
In Hawaii.
At first, I was what did I call it? The Marshall Islands.
Oh, I see.
There was small island atoll.
Uh-huh.
The atoll is a bunch of small islands, and the Japanese had built pillboxes, and they were to be able to fight out of there. And
So you were
our
stationed.
job was to go and take that over.
I see.
That was closer to Hawaii.
So they sent you from
We
Hawaii?
spent about 3 weeks there.
Okay.
We finished. We refurbished in Hawaii, new bodies, new equipment, and then we made another. In 204, there were 2 islands close to Japan, about a couple 100 miles. It was Saipan and Tinian. Both islands had to be captured. Saipan was fine, but it was hilly. Tinian was all flat, and they would build airports there.
You built airports
Airports.
there?
Huh?
The Marines built the airports?
Yeah, well, they had people that built them. Yeah, I guess they had that. That crew that, and they would build airports there. Well, later on, the airplanes were bombing Japan, and they had room to come back and land. There
Now-
was a reason for that.
I see.
And we spent about half a year over there fighting there.
Did you receive specialized training in?
Well, they had people that they had to.
So what did they train you in basic training? I mean, did you get specialized training after that?
Not flying airplanes, but fighting the enemy.
I see.
Yeah, fighting the enemy. And after we were there about 6 months,
Where?
those 2 islands
Uh-huh.
to finish one, then you had to go to the other. We came back to Hawaii, new bodies, new equipment, new bodies, and started in 204. No, this was 204.
You mean 44?
No, 44 we landed at Saipan and Tinian. We captured, then we went back. Got back about 4 months training, 4 or 5 months training, and then we landed again for Iwo Jima. Because Iwo Jima was another 200-300 miles closer to Japan.
I see.
And
How long did you...
but
Yeah.
in Saipan, I was wounded in a big toe, busted.
What is that?
Oh, we were taking shelter in a trench
This was on what island?
in Iwo Jima.
Iwo Jima.
Because there was no foliage there. Down in Guadalcanal, there was all kinds of forest. Up there it was bare, just a beach and that. And then they're up in the mountains and they're shooting their guns at you. But they found a trench. There were other Marines in there too, about half a mile long. 8 foot deep, 5 foot wide. And we were out on a mission. We weren't with a regular company. They sent us out try and locate the enemy. And me with my Greek, if we spoke on a radio English, the Japanese they knew English.
Right.
They picked up, and but I could speak Greek.
Oh.
And there was another man in the receiving end of it. And they had the island with squares. Square A, square B, square C, square C. And we give them the
Location.
information. And they bombed them. And they were very successful.
So the man on the other end spoke Greek too.
Yeah. That's why they spoke English. They knew what you're doing.
How long were you in Iwo Jima?
So after we finished about a week's time, we took shelter in that trench. But the trench, I think the Japanese built it. And when my friend Wagner was from New York, and I got there. When we got there, we had instructions to take shelter there, and we met the company the following day. You know, we knew, we had directions how to get there. But that night, when we saw the trench, it's too good to be true. And there were foxholes. Foxholes, your body's below the ground.
Right.
And we said, no, we're going to dig a little deeper and keep our body below. But it wasn't wide enough to keep the feet and the head. And the head, we had to keep it, we knew it was warm. But that's feet, my toes and his feet were sticking out. And then the Japanese zeroed in on the trench.
Oh my God.
There were other Marines in there, about 300-400 yards down. And it killed quite a few. But we got he got a shrapnel in the leg, in the meat. I got mine on a big toe.
Oh.
When the doctor saw us, says, all right. And all the hostile ships and hostiles were loaded with casualties. We lost 1,000 men the first day.
Wow.
And they used the APAs, that's the cargo ships. American bring equipment, guns, munitions, and unload. And they take back wounded Marines. They weren't in danger, and the surgeons, they were doing people lost arms, lost legs, the heavily wounded, who weren't heavy wounded. And so we thought they had taken us to Hawaii. This is about 5 or 6 weeks after we were aboard ship.
Oh.
They put ointment and they had a nurse there look, and slippers. You couldn't wear shoes. And they put us on a board ship. I thought they were going to take us to Hawaii. But Hawaii, we see a list. The ship goes back for equipment in New York, back in the United States. And the names, my name and his name, were listed.
They weren't listed?
No, they were listed.
They were.
None on a sheet to be New York, because we can't be cured fast enough to enter.
Right.
Take me out of there. So they took me. They took us to San Francisco. San Francisco was pretty loaded. And then they took us to a hospital closer to where you live. So where your relatives, you come and visit you. They don't have to go 500 miles to go. So they took us to Chelsea Naval Hospital in Boston, which is about 100 miles from Cortland.
Oh.
And they took us there. We were there from April to September.
Wow. You were in the hospital that whole time?
Yeah, I had trouble with my back. Oh, see, when you in foxholes and water and dampness, day in and day out, eventually catches up. And I had a little, not as bad as my wife is now, but we had it. And they looked at it and they said, son, when they let me out, you better see a specialist. Eventually you're going to have trouble with your back. You're going to have major trouble because you had it for so long. So anyway, from San Francisco, they shipped us to Chelsea Naval Hospital in Boston, and we were there from April until when Germany gave up. Germany, when did they give up?
45?
August?
45?
Yeah, in 45. I was in 45 over there. In August, I think there's in August.
So. Yeah.
And right after that, about a month later, Japan gave up. And when they did that, then they discharged me.
Oh, okay. So you never went back to Europe?
Huh?
You never went back to Japan?
No, because I had trouble with the back.
Yeah. Did your toe heal?
Yeah.
Did your toe heal okay?
Yeah, the toe is all right now, but I wasn't there. I was wearing hospital slippers for about 3-4 months.
Wow. What kind of combat action did you witness over there? You were in Japan, right? The whole thing.
Yeah. Well, it was there in Iwo Jima. They had guns on a cliff where you're going to land. You land. You got 8, 10, and 20 small boats with about 30 men in, heading for the beach. The big guns shooting big shells on top, but they're 20 yards down below, and they couldn't harm him. And they did. And that saved me. And I was going in, because I was going in a third wave. And that wasn't when I was wounded. That was before I won it.
Okay.
And I got there and started running toward the beach. The boat takes you within 50 yards from a beach. There's no foliage, and these guys can see you, and they shoot the guns. And when the order said, jump ship, fall in the water. And he says, "Stay down, they killed us." And as I fell in, I hit a soft spot and I went deeper than I wanted to, but that saved me. If I raised up right away,
Wow.
that saved me.
Wow. What?
So after that, they took us back to the boat, and
Did you stay, now when you fought on land, did you go back to the boat to sleep
Well-
and eat? Or how did you do that?
when we started what?
When you were on land,
On land? No, we had with the company, except on special missions, like we have to go and find and spot the enemy. But we meet in certain areas. No, they had the cooking crew with them.
oh,
Yeah,
so you ate and slept on land?
Yeah, I knew you should go.
No.
Sure,
Okay.
yeah, it was
Did you witness a lot of casualties and destruction?
yeah, a lot of friends. But a lot of them, see, I was wounded early, a little early before, because they fought for a couple months after that.
Right.
And I lost a lot of which I didn't know. I wasn't in Chelsea neighborhood.
Right.
So.
What kind of friendships and camaraderie did you make?
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
as a matter of fact, when we were in North Carolina on Christmas, they put an order, nobody can leave, that transportation doesn't warrant anybody going home. So this guy that I knew, old timer, says, "I'm going to go for a couple of days, I'll come back." He says, "You want to go?" I said, "Go, I haven't been home yet." Come back a day late. We said, "The colonel, if he fined us $50 from our pay, we're only getting about $64.
oh, and you went with him?
I went with him, but I came back late, and we couldn't get back. We went to California. This guy goes on a leave, and he meets some woman that's going to have up in rich area in Hollywood. What's the name of the?
The what?
In Hollywood, the rich area.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Why don't we go? Because there was no, where the camp was, there was no town next to us or anything. And we went there, we got laid there too. We got fined.
You got fined.
Fined. They took out of our pay $50 every month.
Wow.
Yeah, they went up for about 6-7 months.
Oh my goodness.
But we couldn't get any jail. If we hadn't moved, probably would have gone, but we moved. Then after that, we moved for Marshall Islands.
Marshall Islands.
Yeah, that was it.
How did you stay in touch with family and friends when you were abroad?
Huh?
How did you stay in touch with the family?
You write letters.
Letters. And you got letters from home?
Yeah.
Were you able to have time off? I mean, you had off-duty time when you were...
No, not duty. Not duty.
You had no recreation?
Huh?
No recreational
No,
time?
you have at the base, but
On the base.
not go on. The way we went, and this guy started, they were older, and I thought they knew something that I didn't know. I was afraid, but I thought this guy is no better. And they got me in trouble.
Oh.
But after we landed, after we won overseas, that was wiped out.
Anything else about your service while you were abroad that you remember? Any other memories of when you were over there?
We couldn't do anything. In Europe, they had all that towns, all the cities,
Right.
and they used to go out there. Over here in the islands, you didn't have anything. Even Hawaii, Maui was a couple of little villages nearby. That's all. But you couldn't go out.
So you were in the States when the war ended.
Yeah.
You were in the States,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they discharged me in hospital.
And so then you returned home to your family was.
Yeah, we watched. Then I went to school, trying to graduate.
From what school?
High school.
Oh, that's when you finished high school.
Yes, I finished high school. Then after I finished, I joined the Marine Corps.
Right, but when you were discharged from the Marine Corps, then what did you do?
Oh no, I was working.
Doing what?
Well, working for jobs that not big jobs, because I was in 1943. I was 45. I was 25 years old. I didn't have that much experience other than fighting out now.
Did you go back to college or?
I went back to college.
You did?
Yeah.
Where?
To Rider College, I got that certificate up there.
Wait, what college?
Rider College in Trenton, New Jersey.
Okay, what did you study there?
Cost accounting, because we had a chance to work for a company from California that was manufacturing F-34s, the plane that fought in the Korean War, F-34.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a lot of work, and they were paying good.
So you got a degree in accounting.
Huh?
Accounting, you
In
said?
accounting, yeah.
Accounting. How long did you work in that field? That was.
Oh, I was there till the war ended in North Vietnam, in North Korea. When the war ended, then they didn't need a plane.
So then what? Then what did you do?
Then I was doing. My uncle had a restaurant. I used to work when I was next to my father's there.
In Cortland?
Yeah, and I used to go in there and work when I was going to school, after school. And I went into it. I found a couple other fellows that wanted. And then gradually, I found a big company that fed out here in Long Island. They had a place in, they had the College of Harvard there.
Mm-hmm.
They had the nunnery over in Hempstead.
Mm-hmm.
They had LaSalle Military Academy. They had about 6, 7 places. And I called up. I went to, in Park Avenue, they had a place. And I went there and I saw the man from the company there.
What kind of firm was that? Accounting? Or no?
No, kind of, but you have to know because you have to buy food, feed 300-400 people in every place you work.
What kind of firm was that? What did they do?
Who?
That firm on Park Avenue, you said?
Park Avenue, they have a place, they have a restaurant, big restaurant, Park Avenue.
Oh, I see, a restaurant.
That day I could go. Out here, says, we have a place out in the island.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent me there. And I started working for about a year. Then I got married. And we got a couple of children. But I needed a little more money. Mm-hmm. And they wasn't paying anymore. So finally, a couple people I knew in a business, they said, you open a home. And I opened there for about 50 years.
What's that, a restaurant?
Yeah.
Which one?
Oh.
What was the name of it?
One of them over here was what's the one on 110 up here?
There's so many.
No, the one, that big one that's got the girls with the short shorts.
Oh,
And that's Smith Street.
You don't mean Hooters?
Hooters.
Really?
That was mine.
Really?
That wasn't, they took it and converted to it.
Really?
Yeah, I had that.
Nice. Wow.
And I had a diner it was another fellow in the west part of Farmingdale, right over there. and I was there pretty good. It was, I think I was 50 years. I was married there. My wife didn't work. She used to work before, but didn't work with kids. And I stayed with her till
You retired?
retired.
Right. Now, how did you readjust to civilian life when you came back, after the military? How was that?
Yeah. And my father and I worked for my father a little bit. He had the store, and I used to work in there. And finally, until I still had friends in Trenton that went to school with me, and they had business, and I got involved with them.
Have you remained in contact with any of your fellow veterans at all?
Some of them, but see, I didn't know who survived. And
Right.
I lost addresses. Being away so long, I was away for months,
Right.
and I didn't know how many survived.
Are you a member of any veterans organizations?
Yeah, the people in Farmingdale,
Veterans of Foreign War?
yeah,
VFW?
give them. I think I gotta send a bill. Send a bill.
How do you think your wartime experiences affected your life?
Well, it points out things that that it takes a lot. It's not easy. It's not like the movies. It's
Were you afraid at all when you?
oh sure.
Really?
Yeah.
What are some life lessons you learned from the military?
Be friends. Be friendly. All the people downstairs, the waiters, I don't know. Because I can't, they got their names on there, but I can't call them. But I said friends. You're my friends.
Yes.
Hi, friend. Give me they're all my friends. Hi, Nick. They know me, but I can't read the names
Right.
in the face. In the face, it's kind of dark.
Difficult.
Down there.
Yeah. You said that your hearing was affected from Iwo Jima.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Oh, the shell. The
shells.
that fell that hit me ruined my ears.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And your
Yeah.
your eyesight also?
The eyesight, maybe. And this guy's trying to fix it, and it ruined the whole thing. It wasn't bad. I was driving. But after the operation, couldn't drive it. With one eye? No.
Yeah. How do you think your military service impacted your feelings about war and the military in general?
Well, wars are necessary, but not. You have to be ready to exist. Otherwise, they take you over.
What kind of message would you like to leave for future generations who might hear this interview?
Well, love your country. Love your country. You can. In Greece now, they're having trouble.
Yeah.
Nobody pays taxes. All these rich hoi polloi, they got big buildings. They got ways of hiding and the country's in desperate economically.
Yeah. Have you been back to Greece?
Oh, we made with my wife here and the kids. We took a trip to Europe. Yeah, but the school, I wasn't too happy with it. They're so happy because you didn't know you. We're talking about a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old.
Is there anything you feel we haven't covered or discussed? Anything you remember you'd like to share still?
What?
Anything you remember we haven't discussed? from your military service?
No, you make friends. You make friends. Friends, and I had them for years. But then after that, I don't know whether they survived the rest of because they stayed a few months behind me, and I don't know if they stayed there. I had no way of finding
out. Yeah. Now, was your brother in World War II also?
Yeah, he was in the South Pacific.
Really?
Yeah.
And is he still alive today?
Yeah, he's alive. Yeah. No, he died. He died a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay. So he got out of the war also.
He got out, yeah.
Yeah. What branch was he in? Did you say?
He was in infantry.
Infantry.
Yeah.
So you didn't see each other during the war?
No. He was in the South Pacific, toward near. What's the big the other side of Guadalcanal.
Not Guam.
No. Down, the big island. It's English. Big.
That's where he was stationed. He was stationed there.
No, he was
fighting there.
Fighting there because the Japanese were ready to go down there.
That must have been hard for your parents to have two sons in the military.
Yeah. A lot of people did.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, my wife's family had three brothers.
Wow.
And they survived.
They did. Was your wife born in Greece too?
No. They're born in
your wife.
Binghamton.
Your wife.
Binghamton.
Oh, your wife is from Binghamton? And your children were born in where?
My children were born in down here, down in.
In Long Island.
Yeah, and we lived in
Farmingdale.
Farmingdale.
Yeah. Is there anything you did during your military service, maybe that you regretted?
Well, the thing that I did that cost me a lot of money.
What's that?
Well, listen to this guys take off. Let's go home.
Oh, I see. And you didn't. And you didn't come back in time.
Huh?
And,
no,
yeah.
I couldn't. This guys gave me the old timers. I was just a new kid.
Yeah. How was the military life? How did you adjust to that?
No, it's good. It was good. And the food wasn't bad.
Really?
It wasn't bad. The food here is not so hot.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Anything else that you can think of that we didn't cover?
No, I can't think of it. I think, let's see. I met my father, my wife's, my sister. No, wait a minute. Who was he? He was my sister's husband in the Army. I met him in California.
Oh.
He was stationed there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
how did you meet your wife?
in church.
Oh.
Church. They're from the same area of Sparta, outside of Sparta. Both villages, about 5 miles apart.
Wait, in Greece?
Yeah.
Your wife was in Greece?
No.
No, I said, how did you meet your wife?
Wait a minute. No, she was born here. She was born she was born in Johnson City, which is next to what's that? Chapter City, Endicott, and
in New York?
Yeah, and there's another. I forgot the name.
Binghamton. Okay. Yeah. So you met her in Binghamton?
Yeah, there was a church there. Cortland didn't have a church. And we used to go there. The families met. And,
okay. All right.
We didn't go much. We didn't go much out.
Anything else? Nick, that's it.
all.
Thank you so
all.
much, Nick, for your service and
Thank you.
for meeting with
Thank you
us.
for being so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.